Good morning and a very good day to our lecturer and everyone watching this recorded forum discussion. Welcome to our discussion entitled Blended Learning versus Traditional Learning, a Comparative Study. I am Angela May Justin and I will be serving as a moderator for today's discussion. Before we begin, allow me to introduce our panel members. This is me, Angela May Justin, as the moderator and member number one. And the second member is Flayana Marlin, anak Francis. And the third member is Evapanik Hamalia Memeng, anak Renato. And our fourth member is Muhammad Hamizanti Med Halimte. And Flayana will be discussing about blended learning. Evapani will be discussing about traditional learning, and Hamizante will be discuss the comparison between both approaches and the future educational trends. And I will be covering the conclusion and the introduction part. Educational technology has significantly transformed the way teaching and learning take place in this 21st century. As schools and universities continue to integrate technology into education, different learning approaches and emerge to meet the changing needs of the students and educators. Among the most widely used approach and blended learning and traditional learning. While blended learning combines face-to-face instruction with digital technology. Besides, technology learning emphasizes direct classroom interaction between teachers and students. And here's the objective of today's discussion. Number one, to understand the concept of blended learning and traditional learning. Number two, to compare the strength and challenge of both approach. And number three, to examine their effectiveness in supporting student learning. And the fourth, to explore future trends in education. Without further ado, let's us begin our first panel list. Playana, would you explain what blended learning is and why it has become increasingly popular in modern education?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. I will explain about blended learning. Blended learning is an educational approach that combines traditional face-to-face classroom teaching with online learning activities. In other words, students learn both in the classroom and through the digital platform. This approach creates a more flexible and engaging learning experience. For example, a teacher may introduce a new topic during a classroom lesson, and after the class, students can complete the online quizzes, watch instructional videos, or join the discussion using the platform like the Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. Next, please. Next is the advantage. Blended learning offers several advantages. First, it provides the flexibility, allowing students to learn anytime and review the lesson at their own space. Second, it supports the personalized learning, where the teachers can adapt the materials to meet the different student needs. Third, the student may easily access to digital resources such as videos, ebooks, and quizzes. Finally, blended learning encourages student-centered learning by promoting the collaboration, critical thinking, and independent learning. Some popular blended learning tools include Google Classroom for sharing the assignment, quizzes for the interactive quizzes, Zoom for the live online classes, and Notebook LM, which uses AI to help the student to summarize the note and study more effectively. That's all about the blended learning.
Thank you, Playana, for your insightful explanation. So here, may I ask you a question? In your opinion, what is the most significant advantage of blended learning and how does it enhance students' learning experiences compared to the traditional classroom instruction?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Moderator. In my own opinion, the most significant advantage of blended learning is flexibility. Why is it? Because for me, the student can access the learning materials anytime and learn according to their own space. This allows them to review the lessons whenever necessary and take greater responsibility for their learning. As a result, students become more independent learners while still receiving support from their teacher. That is my answer.
Thank you, Fleana. Now, I would like to invite Epifany to discuss about traditional learning and explain why it is remain important in today's classroom.
Thank you to the Miss Director. Before we discuss the advantage of traditional learning, let us first understand what it means. Traditional learning refers to a face-to-face teaching method where teacher and student interact physically in the same classroom. In this approach, the teacher delivers the lesson directly in front of the student, while the student listen, participate, ask questions, and receive immediate response. For example, during an English lesson, the teacher explains grammar concept at the front of the class. Students can raise their hand to ask questions, and the teacher is able to correct mistake or provide explanation instantly. This direct interaction creates an engaging learning environment and strengthens communication between teacher and student. Therefore, traditional learning is not simply about being in a classroom. It is about meaning face-to-face interaction that support effective teaching and learning. Next. So the advantage is, I would like to present the advantage of traditional learning. Firstly, traditional learning encourages direct interaction between teacher and student because they are physically present in the same classroom. Communication becomes more effective. Students can ask questions immediately whenever they are confused, and teacher can provide clear explanation on the spot. Secondly, traditional learning allows for immediate feedback. For example, if a student makes a mistake while speaking during an English lesson, the teacher can correct the pronunciation or grammar instantly. This helps students understand their mistake and improve more quickly. Another important advantage is better classroom management and control. Teacher can monitor student behavior, maintain discipline, and ensure that everyone stay focused on the lesson. This creates a more organized and productive learning environment. Finally, traditional learning supports student social development. By interacting face-to-face with classmates, students learn valuable communication, teamwork, leadership, and interpersonal skills. These social skills are essential not only for academic success, but also for their future career and daily life. In conclusion, traditional learning remains highly valuable because it promotes direct interaction, provides immediate feedback, ensure effective classroom management, and develops student social skills. This advantage continue to make it an important approach in education. Thank you.
Thank you, Epifany. Despite the rapid advantage of educational technology, why do you think traditional learning remains relevant and important in today's educational environment? This is the question that I want to ask you regarding to your topic that you talk about traditional learning.
Thank you, Miss Moderator. So I answer your question. Traditional learning is important today because it provides benefit that technology alone cannot fully replace. Firstly, it builds strong communication between teacher and student through face-to-face interaction. Teacher can better understand student learning need while students feel more comfortable asking questions and expressing their idea. Secondly, traditional learning provides immediate feedback and clarification. If students do not understand a topic or make a mistake, teacher can explain or correct them instantly, preventing misunderstanding from continuing. In addition, it helps students develop social skills such as teamwork, communication, leadership, and respect through daily interaction with their classmates and teacher. Finally, it is especially effective for practical and hands-on activity such as science experiment, art project, language speaking practice, and physical education, where direct guidance and supervision are essential. Thank you, Miss.
Sorry. Thank you, Evapani. Next, I would like to invite Hamizante to compare between learning approaches and discuss the future trends in education.
Thank you, moderator. Both blended learning and traditional learning have unique strengths and challenges. First of all, I would like to present about comparison between blended learning and traditional learning. Blended learning offers flexibility, accessibility, and opportunities for personalized learning through technology. Students can learn beyond the classroom and access resources at their convenience. About the traditional learning, provide stronger face-to-face interactions, immediate feedback, and a structured learning environment that supports student engagement. However, however, they have a challenge. Blended learning may face challenges such as internet connection issue, uh, inequal access to technology, and the need for self-disciplines among students. About traditional learning, on the other hand, may be less flexible and may not fully utilize the benefits of educational technology. Looking ahead, the future of education is likely to involve hybrid learning models that combine the strengths of both approaches. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, adaptive learning platform, and virtual reality are expect to future transform teaching and learning practice. That's all for me.
Thank you, Hamizante. Now I'm going to give you the follow-up question. In your opinion, with the increasing use of digital technologies in teaching and learning, do you think blended learning can completely replace traditional learning in the future? Please give or justify your opinion.
Thank you, moderator. In my opinion, blended learning cannot completely replace traditional learning. While technology provides flexibility and accessibility, teachers continue to play an essential role in guiding, motivation, and supporting students. Human interactions, emotional support, and social development remain important aspects of education. Therefore, a balanced combination of of both approach is likely to be the most effective solution for future education. So that's all.
Thank you, Hamizante, for your insightful opinion. Now, before we moving on to our conclusion, we're going to dive into the discussion question session between all the panels. So I would like to invite all the panels to open your microphone so that you can answer my questions. This is a short open discussion season. We begin to the questions number 1. As future education, what is the most significant advantage of blended learning? I'm going to open the space for Flayana first.
Thank you for allowing me to share my opinion for this question. Okay. I would choose blended learning because it allowed teachers to integrate the technology into lesson while providing students with flexibility and access to the various learning resources. That's all from me.
Thank you. Next, I will open the season of discussion questions to our second panel. For our third panel, Ifapani. I would like to ask you, why does traditional learning remain relevant in today's educational environment?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Moderator. I would like to answer your question. I believe traditional learning remains relevant because education is not only about acquiring knowledge but also about developing communication skills, social interaction, and meaningful relationship. Face-to-face interaction allows teachers to provide immediate support and guidance while helping students with confidence and interpersonal skill. This human interaction remains essential and cannot be completely replaced by technology. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for your fruitful opinion. Now, I will open the opportunity for our fourth panel, Hamizante. Hamizan, I would ask you, how and what is your opinion? Can blended learning completely replace traditional learning in the future education? You may answer.
In my opinion, is no, because traditional learning is still important because student benefits from direct communications, classroom discussion, and immediate support from teacher. I believe both methods should work together. That's all for me.
Thank you. So your point is the blended and traditional learning still need to be aligned and need to work together. Thank you. Now, we move to the last questions. And these questions I will be open for all. The last question, what is the most effective approaches for the modern education? Flayana, do you have any opinion about it?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Okay, what is the most effective approach for modern education? For me, a balance between the blended learning and also a traditional education or traditional learning. Why is it? because flexible hybrid model that strategically integrate the best aspect for both digital, self-paced learning and active. In person, it can be an instructional engagement. That's all from me.
Thank you, Flayana. Next, I might invite Ephaphany to answer the question. Ephaphany, in your opinion, what is the most effective approach for the modern education? You may answer. You may answer.
Thank you for Miss Moderator. I will answer your question. So, effective modern education is a learning approach that integrates technology, critical thinking, creative collaboration, and student-centered teaching to prepare learners for challenge for the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we're going to end our discussion season with the last panel. Hamizante, would you like to answer? What is the most effective approach for the modern education in your opinion? You may answer.
In my opinion, the most effective approach is technology was a tools that enhance teaching, but educators remain essentially in facilitating meaningful learning experience. That's all for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Hamizante. And once again, I want to say thank you to all the panels for your really insightful and your pure idea and your explanation. Now, we move to the conclusion part. Once again, thank you to all our panels for sharing their valuable perspective thoughtful for this discussion. To conclude, today's discussion has highlighted that both blended learning and traditional learning play important roles in a modern education. Blended learning offers flexibility, accessibility, and opportunity for personalized learning through the integration of technology, while traditional learning provides direct interaction, immediate feedback, and valuable opportunities for social and emotional development. Although both approaches have strengths and limitations, either should be seen as a complete replacement for one another. Instead, educational institutions should adopt a balanced approach that combines the flexibility of blended learning with the interpersonal benefits of traditional learning. As education continues to evolve, the future is likely to involve hybrid learning models that integrate technological innovation and human-centered learning and teaching practices. In conclusion, the future of education lies not only choosing between blended and learning, but need to combine between blended learning and traditional learning, and it using the strength of both to create meaningful, inclusive, and effective learning experience for all learners. Thank you for watching our recorded forum discussion. Have a wonderful day. This is a take-home message for all that watch this recorded discussion, especially educators, future educators, and students. Technology should not replace teachers. Instead, it should empower teachers to enhance students' learning. That's all from our group. Thank you.